Hello, vinyl community. Elliot here, Lazy Dogs Records. And this is my response to the thread going around now. The favorite or the best top 25 21st century albums. Uh, wow, 25 records to show. That's a lot of records to show. Not that we couldn't show that many, but man, that's going to take a long time, and I'm going to have to put up a whole lot of records to do that. So instead, what I'm doing, my version of that, is the three very interesting and very enjoyable 21st century records. These are all artists that are modern to this period of time, and these are first releases of their albums here. So I'm going to show you these three. I'm going to talk about each one individually a little bit, and then give you a little excerpt, and then we'll be through with it. So maybe this will be something you're interested in. From Smithsonian Folkways, Lula Wiles is the name of the band. These three young ladies, and this album is called Shame and Sedition. Shame and Sedition. Great title. You agree? Uh, Again, this is on Folkways, Smithsonian Folkways. So you think, oh, this is going to be an all acoustic folk album. Nice little brochure that came with it. But it's not that at all. This is a very modern record. It stretches the boundaries of what we would call folk music because they use electric guitars and drums in here. And I don't normally associate those two instruments with folk music. Pretty basic. Uh, nothing to show here as far as the label. But this came out in 2021. I picked it up a few weeks ago. I got a really good price on a new copy of it. And I said, okay, I'm going to give it a try. Why? Because it's on Folkways. And I've seen mention of these young ladies before, but didn't really know that much about them. They've got 2 or 3 albums on Folkways out there. Well, this band has its origins at the Berklee School of Music in Boston. They got together and were playing, brainstorming, and playing as a group of these 3 ladies there at Berklee. But it goes back further than that. Before there was college at Berklee School of Music, there was a fiddle camp in Maine. So I'm assuming those ladies are from Maine or somewhere close to Maine. And all these songs on here are penned by one of these 3 ladies individually. They're not co-writes. And they are, each one does about an equal number on this album. There's 11 songs, 4, 4, and 3. And they take turns singing lead, usually singing lead on the songs that they wrote. And they do really good harmonies. But as I say, the instrumentation in here, you could call this a rock record. I suppose you could in the broadest sense. It's got electric guitars, drums, other instruments that would not be considered traditional instruments. There are each side, it's a 2-record set. Each side has about 12 to 14 minutes of music on it, so that they're not it's not an extremely long record. In songs included on here: "In Dreams," "Oh My God," "The Way That Is," one called "Conspiracy Theory," "Do You Really Want the World to End," and one I really thought was fascinating, and I'm gonna play a little of that for you. One called "Mary Ann."
Marianne, why don't you get your shit together? I'm not waiting for a better time or better weather to return your messages. You're holding on to vestiges I bet your mama still believes that you're an angel. Should I call her up and tell her about the poison you were brewing on the playground back in school when we were young? You gotta get out while you can, Marianne. Marianne, so you heard I'm doing well. I won't deny it. And I'm sorry that you never made it out of our hometown. And you know I barely made it out alive. From the palm of your hand, Marianne.
So that's my first selection. Lula Wiles is the band, considered a folk band, but with a very broad definition of folk, I would say, on here. They write all original material, and for them to have gone to fiddle camp together, there is fiddle in there, various ones that the ladies play fiddle, but it's not a lot uh, of fiddle in it. It's it's not every song's not dominated by the fiddle by any means. But I do have a fiddle album coming up. My next selection of interesting and really good albums from the 21st century is a 2025 release called Solo at Cafe Auto by Shane Parish. And this is exactly what the title suggests. Uh, Shane Parish playing electric Fender Telecaster. Says he plugged it straight into the venue amp and just started playing. He was on tour with a quartet, a guitar quartet, and one night they went to this club. This was in 2023. This was reported. Uh, Cafe Auto, which is in London, England, and each of the four guitarists did a set, and this is his set. Uh, I have another album by him that came out a little before this uh, repertoire, and it is finger picking acoustic guitar. This obviously is a Telecaster he's playing here. He is a composer, a uh, interpreter, a guitar teacher, and he has a band, which is kind of an alternative band. He has his solo work, and he works with that guitar quartet. Very, very varied. He's an arranger and all that sort of stuff. So this is kind of, I don't know, think John Fahey, Koki, people like that. But in this case, he's playing the electric guitar and he's taking various songs and interpreting the melody for those songs. And he does this a lot on a lot of his music. There are actually, of the six songs on here, five are folk songs, either British Isles or American folk songs, like Barbara Allen is one of them. Uh, Who's Gonna Shoe Your Pretty Little Feet? Another. She Moves Through the Fair. Brother's Revenge. And the only non-folk tradition song that he takes is one from Twin Peaks, Sycamore Trees from Twin Peaks. So I'm going to play a little excerpt from this. If you're interested in avant-garde guitar, I guess maybe you could call this stuff jazz, uh, but it's in a very broad sense. You might call it jazz when we call it jazz when you can't think of what else to call it. But it's just a inventive guitar where he's taking melodies and he is creating much of it is improvisational. I think, once he takes a melody and works with it, it's going to sound different on each occasion which he performs. And my third and final record I would like to highlight here is Bronwyn Keith Payne's Fiddler's Paradise. This from her website. A signed copy at a very reasonable price. It's from 2021. She has a more recent album, and I haven't picked that one up yet, but I definitely plan on it. I first became aware of her as the fiddler in Golden Highway, Molly Tuttle and Golden Highway. That band that existed, is now defunct, but existed for several years in 2 albums from Molly Tuttle. She was the fiddler in that band, and it was always a highlight listening to her play the fiddle in that group. Also, what is a fiddle album? So people don't know. A fiddle album obviously features the fiddle, but basically, fiddle tunes are considered an instrumental song in the acoustic music world. Bluegrass and bluegrass adjacent type music. Talk about a fiddle tune, then you're talking about an instrumental. So a fiddle album would be a bunch of those on record. And she is a wonderful fiddler, great soul, great precision as well. And when you can combine the expertise, the precision of a great musician with the soul of a great musician, then if you've got those two things working for you, then the world's your oyster. And about half these are instrumentals, and another half are with vocals. So you shouldn't go long, not only without listening to a good fiddle album, but we need at least a waltz a day. So this is one. Now she wrote about, there's 11 songs there. I think she wrote about 4 or 5 of these songs herself, and then she does like a song from John Hartford, uh, Alton Delmore, Bill Monroe has one, and let's see, Peter Rowland, one of his songs is on here. But this is one she wrote, co-wrote with her producer and banjo player on here, whose name is Wes Corbett, and this is Michelle's Waltz. Keith Haynes. You can go to her website and pick this album up. Uh, you can get an autographed copy of this particular one, and it's not an expensive record. The label is called Sugar Petunia Records, which is her record label. And just go to her website, and you can find it. Did you hear the thunder just now? It's those summer thunderstorms getting ready to ruin it. Chester is very upset about that. With good reason. They are scared. All right, everybody. So instead of 25 best 21st century albums, I give you three pretty darn good and interesting records you might want to check out from the 21st century. I'll remind everybody, be kind to your neighbors, folks. Love your neighbors. Because if you go through life loving, not hate, being kind, not cruel, your life will be a better place and this world will be a better world that we live in.